How you doing? This is Stan, the History Man, and I'm bringing to you an exciting video. Normally, I do a video around Black History Month, and February is Black History Month. So tomorrow is Black History Month. I'm going to talk about some of the ways in which history repeats itself. We just had a major presidential election, and we had a presidential candidate that kept using certain buzzwords to incite people and to convince certain groups of people to really cast their votes for him. Number one, he talked about rapists. And he said we shouldn't let certain group of people in this country because they're rapists and also they're murderers. They bring in crime and stuff. The black community is full of crime and all of that. And we're going to lose jobs. So we always had these particular buzzwords, crime, such as rape and also losing jobs. So we're going to go back into history and examine some of the tactics that has been used in the past, like the Atlanta race riot of 1906. The tension exploded during the election of 1906 when William Hope Smith and Clark Howard competed for the Democratic nomination. Both candidates were looking for ways of disfranchising African American voters because they felt that the black voters could throw the election in the other direction. Both of these men had worked for the Atlanta Constitution and they had false allegations printed in the newspaper. On September the 22nd, 1906, the Atlanta paper reported four false allegations of assault on white women, saying that black men had raped some white women. Soon, some 10,000 white men and boys began gathering, beating, and stomping black people. It is estimated that there was between 20 to 40 African American deaths, and there was only two whites, and they was hanging black people from lamp poles and everything. And it was this race riot was incited by these two black men. I mean, these two white men, politicians who wanted to throw the election in their favor. We're going to talk about the next one is Greenwood, Oklahoma. Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1921. Greenwood boasted a variety of thriving businesses such as grocery stores, clothing stores, barbershops, bank, hotels, cafes, movie theaters, two newspapers, and many other black-owned businesses. They also had nice homes. They enjoyed many of the luxuries that their white neighbors did not have, including indoors plumbing, a remarkable school system, and get this, the dollar circulated 36 to 100 times. Sometimes it took the dollar over a year to leave the community. Now it takes what, 30 or 40 minutes. As soon as we get paid, we're going and spending our money in other communities and stuff like that, and not circulating that dollar in our community. Well, anyway, on May the 31st, 1921, a mob of people came to lynch Dick Rowland, a black man who they said had raped this white woman in an elevator. It took about 30 seconds from the elevator to get from one destination to another one. And in that 30 seconds, they said this black man had raped her. So the whites, after they locked him up in jail, the whites came in to hang him. And the blacks tried to defend him. As a result, the whole place was tortured with fire bombs and stuff. And the government finally declared martial law, but only after the whole black community had burnt down. There was 35 city blocks that was ruined. Over 800 black people were treated for injuries and stuff. An estimated 300 death occurred, and most of them were black people, and it was thousands and thousands of black people had lost their home. Next, we're going to talk about the Chicago race riot, and this occurred in 1919. And basically, what happened to cause this riot? It was a group of black teenagers out swimming in the water there along the river there in Chicago. And one of them swam just a little too close to the white beach, and they stoned and they killed him. And as a result, a riot started. And they said the reason why they done this because he was getting too close to white women. Again, they accused him of brutally wanting to attack or rape the white women, so they just brutally killed the man. And this caused a riot between the blacks and the white Chicagoans. When the riot ended on August the 3rd, 15 whites and 23 blacks had been killed, more than 500 people injured. In addition, 1,000 black families had lost their homes when they were tortured by rioters. And in this one, we're going to talk about Rosewood, and they made a movie out of this one. And this happened in 1923, and Rosewood is in Florida. And by the 1900s, Rosewood had become a predominantly African American area. Some people farmed or worked in the local businesses, including a nearby sawmill. Summer was a predominantly white town. In 1920, Rosewood blacks had 3 churches, a school, a large Masonic hall, a turpentine mill, a sugarcane mill, a baseball field, a general store. Although they had 2 general stores, one was owned by a white man, and they had nice homes. And a white lady accused a black man of attacking and raping her. They said this man was a drifter. Although they never found the man, they used this as an excuse to destroy the black town of Rosewood. They started lynching the residents and burning down the homes and stuff. See, Rosewood never recovered because most of the black people refused to or were scared to move back into the town. Although they eventually wind up suing, and some of the families did receive some compensation. They did get a little bit of money out of the deal. The last one we're going to talk about is Washington D.C. racial riots, and this happened in 1919. And when the ex-soldiers came back, the ex-doughboys, which was military people, a lot of them had to panhandle. A lot of them didn't have jobs because a lot of the service jobs that they left and went to the war. Black people filled these jobs, so they felt that again, like we said, what's going on today, that minority group of people came in and took their jobs. So they got mad, and then on July 1919, white men's men of them in uniform responded to a rape allegation. Again, it was a rape allegation, and they said that 4 black men had raped a woman. So they randomly beat black peoples on the streets and pulled others off street cars and attacks. When police refused to intervene, the black people began to fight back. Troopers tried to restore order on the city, closing salons and theaters to discourage people from fighting. When the violence ended, 15 people had died, 10 whites and 5 blacks. And this was one of the few times in history where there was more white fatalities than the blacks. And as you can see, we have things like that occurring today. We have politicians are putting fear into people's and telling them that the white women are going to be raped and they're going to wind up losing their jobs and stuff. But we know this is just history repeating itself. And so if we're not careful, things like this is going to continue to happen. The next thing